Hi, welcome back to the PT Graduate Podcast. My guest today is Erin Milne. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, very well. Thank you very much for your time. And it's great to get another episode locked and loaded.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. This is very exciting, very new, but exciting at the
Ah,
same time.
that's good. It's good. And so for people who may not know the name Erin, you're based in Ultra Hunger
That's
Fitness.
yes. So
Yeah.
Otahanga Health and Fitness, so Otahanga in the Waikato, just
Yep.
south of Hamilton, just before the Waitomo Caves.
Ah, that
Most
that'll help.
people, yeah, most people know where the Waitomo Caves are. So we're the first town before you get there.
Yes.
So yeah, nice, good little town, and
Yeah.
born and bred, born and bred.
Is that right?
Yes.
Do you think that helps being a business owner in that town? If I mean, they must all know you, right?
Yeah, definitely. People do know. I went to school with a lot of people. It is kind of exciting seeing my daughter go to the same primary school that I went to.
Yeah.
She still doesn't believe me when I say that, but it is very cute and it's very cool. And just sometimes it is nice knowing some history of the town. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, people are coming and going, right? It's not a fixed thing, but there would be a number of people that you would have known from a young age. So quite a nice sort of progression to then, have a business in the same town and be able to serve that population.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's great giving back to the community in the wellness space. It really does mean a lot when it is your hometown.
Mm. So tell me, so how long have you run that business?
I took over the gym from my mum. I purchased the business from my mum
Right,
in January 2020.
right.
I always joke, it's a joke, it's a running joke that I bought a 24-hour gym that had never closed. And I closed it three times in 18 months.
Of course.
Thank you,
Yeah.
COVID.
Yes.
But if I can get through that, I can get through anything. But I
Yeah.
actually grew up in the health and fitness space when I was before I remember, my mum did jazzercise. Now I'm an
Mhm.
80s baby, so mum
Yeah.
did jazzercise.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that. Mum went on to step Reebok when I was like primary school age, and she started weight training and I actually competed in some bodybuilding shows when
Right.
I was at primary school age. Um, and then she created the gym, decided that there was no gym in Otahanga at the time. So she built a little one and it grew and it grew and it grew. And we just grew up in the gym.
Hmm.
And then one day I decided that I was done working for the bank and said,
Yeah.
actually, Mum, I'd be keen to buy a gym. And she said, right, sold. It's all yours. Done.
Wow.
I was like,
Okay.
okay, whoa,
Just like that.
just like that. So
So,
she's still a lot. She's a great mentor to have.
mm,
She's very good at yeah, guiding and support mentorship with running a business. So it's great.
yeah. So she's still in the background there if you need her. Yeah. Interesting. So is it as it was, or has it changed over time? Like you said, it grew and grew. Does that mean you moved premises or extended or what?
Yeah, so we did actually move. We are now, for people that do know the area, the gym is now located in the old Jehovah Witness Church.
Right.
So the building was originally the Jehovah Witness Church. Then we it became my brother's workshop. So my brother did hydraulic hoses. It became his workshop,
Mm.
and then we decided that actually it would be a great space for the gym. Now, the gym was actually located at the local holiday park that my
Ah,
mum also ran, and the two were getting too big for each other. This is
yeah.
obviously pre COVID. So the
Mm.
gym and the holiday park were starting to get too big. So she decided she would move the gym and then look at selling it
Mm.
once she had it moved. And
Mm.
then I snuck in and said, actually, Mum, I'll buy it. So
Right.
before we moved it, I took over, took the reins, and then we worked together to move it to the new location that it is today.
Okay.
And it's a great location. It's not far from town. Well, it's still in town. It's just off the main street. Very local to a lot of places, and it's just really, really handy and a great little
Mm.
location.
Mm. Mm. So tell us how tough is your commute?
It's like a 2 minute drive or a 5 minute walk, depending on if the kids are with me or not.
Fantastic. You got it sussed.
I got it sussed.
So you said you were in banking before that. That's that where things started for you in the working life?
Um, Started all over the show, really. I actually started in tourism.
Yeah.
So I worked out at Waitama Caves, did tourism, then decided that I wanted to find out where all these tourists were coming from and I wanted to find out their lifestyle. So I jumped over to America and did Camp America for 2 summers
Right.
and then loved it and went over and was an au pair. That was a little bit harder. No, I didn't really like Philadelphia. So I
Mm.
went back to Kansas City
Right.
and just lived my life, lived a working holiday in Kansas City. And then 2010, it was actually New Year's Day. So I worked New Year's Eve at the bar and then flew home New Year's Day on 2010. But
Ah,
absolutely loved it, loved Kansas City, and hence my love for American football.
just that was
I,
yeah, I was going
yeah,
there next.
love American football. I worked at a sports bar, so it was either be them or join them, and
Yeah.
I just learned to join them. So I have been a Kansas City Chiefs fan since before they were cool, just for
Yeah.
the record, before they were
Yeah.
good,
Proper
before,
fan.
like, yeah, proper fan from way back. And so it is kind of good that they're a good team now. So because
Yeah. Yeah.
we had our heart broken a few seasons.
Yeah. 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 They've been strong. They just missed out. We're recording this just after the Super Bowl, right? So they just
Yeah,
missed out on the three-peat.
yeah. Last
Oh,
week, I'm still
yeah.
struggling. We're still
Yeah.
sobbing about that, but that's okay.
Okay.
It happens. We've still got three up our sleeve in the last 5 years, I think it is.
Yeah, it's a pretty good record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some teams have still never been there. So
It's a pretty impressive record.
yeah,
So 2010, back to New Zealand.
that was tough. I felt like I'd gone back into the 1900s. Um,
Yeah.
New Zealand is quite far behind, and I think maybe being in a small town as well, even though it's my hometown and I love it, I definitely felt I'd gone backwards a little bit. Did a little bit of waitressing, just trying to find my feet, and then yeah, started working for mum in the gym.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, so I did a couple of years for her. Um, Love my mum very dearly, but working for her, I don't recommend. Don't
Right.
work for family. Don't
Yeah,
work for
that's tough.
family.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Mm.
Um, and so then the job for Westpac came up. And so I
Right.
applied, got it, started as a teller, went into
Mm.
sales,
Mm.
became the assistant manager,
Yeah.
and then closed it.
Oh, really?
I closed it.
Ah.
One of the yeah, when Westpac did a big reconstruction, I
Mhm.
was one of 19 branches that they closed.
Yeah.
And at the time, I decided I'd take the money and run, which was
Cool.
redundancy,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
actual cash, but I always like to joke about it. Took the money and ran,
Yeah.
uh, took a year off, and then decided actually I did miss working at the bank. So I went back to the bank for another year.
Right.
Um, but at that time was actually going through IVF.
Okay.
So both my children are IVF. So gone through IVF and we were successful. And we now have Hapa. So during my time at the bank, I was pregnant and I was one of four staff that were pregnant in the
Really?
branch at the same time.
I bet there
So I
were.
actually felt comfortable at work.
Yeah. 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 You're in the majority, not the
Yeah.
minority.
Yeah.
Bet there were lots of
Um,
jokes about there's something in the water.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially out of that branch. And so, yeah, anyway, when I was on maternity leave with Hapa is when I decided that actually I don't want to be driving an hour to work
Right.
every day.
Mm.
I would rather do something that works, that I have the flexibility of, that I
Mm.
can kind of
Mm.
have a little bit more control over my hours in the day.
Yeah.
And so that's when we took over the gym.
Mm.
And we are now, what, five years later?
Is that right? Five. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
coming up 5 years since I
Oh,
actually
yeah.
took
Yeah.
over.
2020. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Okay. What a
yeah.
journey. Interesting. Um, so how much, having worked in the gym, like you kind of would have known how it rolls and what operating a gym would be like. How different was it being the new owner compared to working in it with your mum?
Big difference.
Mm,
Really big difference. The buck stops with you as a business owner.
mm,
Um, you've got to fix the stuff ups.
mm,
You've there's no one that you can go to if someone's angry because of their membership or something like that. Um, but at the same time, there's a higher passion and there's a higher desire to really work hard to
mm.
help that client, to help those customers get the results that they're hoping for. Um, there's a higher passion in it, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, so it kind of brings with itself the accountability, but the passion and the purpose is a whole lot stronger, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, that's what gets you through the long days and the long nights sometimes when other people have finished and they're off home for dinner and you're still there doing the things that people don't notice that need to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Um, so how much of a learning curve was that for you? Were there things that you just didn't know, or were there things that you were kind of aware of that you thought, well, I just need to gen up on that stuff? How did that journey go?
Yeah, there's a lot. I always just remind myself that's not in the how to run a business manual,
Mm,
although that manual doesn't actually even exist.
mm,
But there is a lot of times, and I actually just sometimes say that. Like I was like, yeah, this has happened. I'm sorry, it's not in the how to run a business manual, but I do know for next time.
yeah,
And sometimes it can be a price thing is a big one,
right.
and just making sure that okay, if this person's paying this, then this person should be paying that,
Mhm.
and making sure that what I'm giving I'm actually charging my worth as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's been a big learning curve is knowing how much I am actually worth and my time
Mm,
and service. So
mm.
it's a very tricky one as well.
It is, isn't it? Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And so in that environment, you're not only the business owner, but you are the PT. So you're sort of wearing a number of different hats throughout the day. How does that go? And how do you kind of split it up? Like how much time do you know you need as the owner as opposed to the PT, the cleaner, the advertiser, the accountant?
Good control over my diary.
Mm,
Very big control over my diary. Um, yeah. And I think every day is different. Every week is different. And just managing that, making sure that the block times for the children are in there. But yeah, long days. I start at 5, I finish at 7.
geez.
So I'm
Yep.
finishing at 8 lately this week. But there is lots of time during the day where I can, what people would say, scarborough off. So I can go home, get the kids ready for school while my husband goes to work. I can do the school drop off. I can go to the school meetings. I can go to swimming lessons or dance lessons as long as it's blocked out of my diary and then others can book around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just remembering my priorities as well. And even with so on the owner, the PT, the Pilates instructor, and the mum, and the cleaner.
Yeah.
Um, cleaning is just never gonna be always done. Like you're always gonna be doing it. So when you realize that, then it's kind of like a bit of a weight. Like I'm always gonna be cleaning, and that's just an ongoing life. But sometimes the long weekends are great for maintenance on the gear because the gym is a little bit quieter on over a long weekend. So those stat
Right.
holidays are actually quite nice to do
Mm,
that.
mm.
Um, trying to instruct overdo is something. So instead of just always doing the
Yeah.
Pilates class, always doing the PT
Mm,
session, actually just stop, just stand there and just tell them what to do can help with the burnout, with stopping
yeah.
the burnout.
Yeah.
That's been a big learning curve for me because I'm a doer.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it done. So who have you got around you that that helps run the place?
I would say probably the biggest help that I have is my husband,
Right.
but he's very behind the scenes.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah. Yep.
we are very different. I am an extrovert. Obviously, I
Yep.
have to be being in a gym.
Mm.
And my daughter is an extrovert as well. My husband and my son, not introverts.
No, fair
And they
enough.
would quite happily hide in the background. But yeah, as a mum, my husband really does help
Yeah.
and we work. And I think communication is key. We communicate a lot via Messenger. He picks the kids up when he finishes work. He takes them home so I can continue working from 5:30 through until as late as I need. He's there in the morning so I can do the 5 o'clock starts. But then I'm home at 7:30 for
Yep.
him to go to work because he's a
Yeah.
service manager of Toyota,
Yep.
and he's also a volunteer firefighter.
Ah.
That's how we met. Side
Ah.
note. So again, we kind of just really communicate. If he needs to go to that call out, that fire call out, he doesn't need to go. We remember what pays the bills as well.
Mm,
And I tell a lot
mm,
of people, oh, you're a volunteer firefighter. What
mm,
pays the bills?
mm.
So we really do juggle with that and we work. So he's probably the biggest support network that I have.
Yep.
As in staff,
Mm.
been there, done that, had
Ah.
PTSD from that, but that's
Yeah.
another story.
Yeah, because that was sort of what I was hinting at. Like, have you got PTs that work there as well, or admin staff that you pay, or neither?
Neither. It's all me.
Yeah.
And Harper, my little 5-year-old, she does the best she can. And the members love her. Like, well, they love both of them, but they love her. They love getting her to do the transaction if they're wanting to buy a drink or something. So just kind of getting her to understand how business runs and
Mm,
how money's made. Like
mm,
it doesn't, it's just not at the bank. You don't just go to the ATM, but you actually
mm,
have to do what we say, like you got to do the mahi
mm,
to then get the rewards
mm.
and really how it all works. But I think I may have a young girl starting to help me out in March, which I'm really excited about.
Ah,
Young college girl, local girl, both
yeah.
her parents are gym members, which is a big deal
Ah,
for me.
that
And
helps.
well, they're gym members and they're really close friends. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's gonna be a really good. So she's just gonna help me with those
Mm,
admin side of things,
mm,
keep an
mm.
eye on the kids, making sure they're not destroying the place while I'm busy. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, interesting. I see you use on your website it talks about having there's an app that you use which looks like Trainerize for members or people on challenges, or how do you use it?
Trainerize, I between Gym Master for the gym database and the door
Oh yeah,
access,
yep,
and then Trainerize. Those are the two I swear by them. Like they are
yep,
definitely the go-to.
yep.
Gym Master I've been with for years and they're great. Nice and simple, key tag access and now Bluetooth access via your phone if you forget your key tag.
Mm,
So that's really cool and
that's
handy
cool.
and really user friendly with Gym Master. And Trainerize is it's I kind of put off going there and I tried a lot of different apps and then just came to the conclusion that no, I need to bite the bullet and go with Trainerize.
Right.
It books my Pilates classes because I only have 5 reformers. So that
Yep.
does all the bookings for that. It's got
Yep.
workouts that I just keep building. And now I've got so many workouts within there that I don't want to transfer over to anywhere else anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Trainerize, my current members, I used it for challenges when I was doing that.
Yep.
I do it for my closer clients that I have, like their training programs that we do. A lot of communication through there as well. So they can
Right.
message me and I get that instantly. So it's really great. We can communicate with my
Mm,
clients through
mm.
the app, through Trainerize. So
Yeah.
um it is a little costly starting out, but it's definitely worth it with what you get from it, is what I
Okay.
would say.
Okay, you recommend. Yeah, because I've spoken to a number of guests on the podcast who use a variety of different apps for different reasons. But Trainerize is certainly one of the leading ones. Here he is.
You say
Hello.
hi? Hi.
Hi. You're on a
What's your
podcast.
name? Two. You're 3.
Three.
Yes.
Brilliant. When's your birthday?
So December. December. Yeah,
December.
December. Oh, my
Okay.
screen's going all silly. All right. You good? You staying with me or are you leaving? Leaving. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Harper will be here soon. Okay.
And there you go. Perfect example of a family business in action.
Yes, yes.
Brilliant. So you talked about challenges, Erin, and I happen to know that that's something that you sort of wrestled with for a while because it was something that you did really well, but you wanted to shift away from that. What was the thinking behind that, and why did you decide to knock it on the head?
Burnout.
Yeah,
Burnout's probably, and one word is
yeah.
burnout. And too many all at once for cheap.
Mm, mm, mm.
Um, Challenges do work great for PTs starting out, for online PTs. I have nothing against challenges, like they did work. But when I have a bricks and mortar business and actually other members and cleaning and everything else to do as well, a challenge just kind of swamped me a little too much.
Yeah.
So I looked at my diary and just looked at my what I call portfolio
Mm,
of current members.
mm,
I have clients outside of challenges. I have a 12-year-old who's into motocross.
hmm
Great kid. He's dragged his brother along as well. And they are so fun to train. I love training them. They're so much fun.
mm.
Everything in between. And I have 80-year-old clients that have had strokes. And again, absolutely love them.
Yeah.
They're just so cool to see them. And they just love the kids. And like they've got grandkids and great
Mm,
grandkids. And so it's really exciting. But when I looked at the list of like my portfolio, I just realized I don't have a lot of time in my day to take on a challenge of 10 to 20 people all at once.
mm, mm.
So I've kind of pulled it back and now I do very similar. It's just not a challenge, it's an 8-week training program. And I can be a lot more personalized and I
Yeah.
can kind of give it a lot more to the clients that I have because I'm not having so many all at once. So,
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, fair enough. And I think it's one of those tough business decisions, isn't it? That you get used to doing something in a certain way. It kind of works, but when you step back and actually give it, you look at the whole picture, not just the fact that it brings in some money. You have to assess it on all those other levels as well, don't you? Not just the financial.
yeah.
And it sounds like you've found a better solution anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, nice. So I don't know Gym Master very well. I think I may have come across it once or twice. Does Gym Master take care of the financial things as well in terms of like direct debit
Yes.
stuff?
They sink into they sink into a few other companies, direct debit companies. I use Easy Debit. It's just
Yeah,
always been with them as well.
yeah.
And so they link in, you just key in the account number for the client, you set up what payment date that works best for the client. That's my banking brain. What day is
Oh
payday?
yeah.
Let's line this up so it all
Yes.
comes out the same day.
Smart.
And Gym Master just works with Easy Debit to take the payments on each day
Right.
or each week or fortnightly, and you just have
Yeah.
the membership type, whether it's fortnightly, weekly membership, and it just takes care of it. And then you'll just get the report to say who's failed, and
Right.
Gym Master will actually just add it to the following week. So if you miss this week,
Uh,
it will take just post next week. So I'm
Right.
not chasing people. I can send a
Yeah.
nice friendly reminder saying, hey, just to let you know
Yeah.
this will happen, but I'm
Yeah.
not actually having to chase people. Just
Mm,
it's really nice. It kind of
mm,
just sorts
mm.
that out as well.
Yeah, good system, good system. So that you only really have to get involved at the last minute if you have to. Otherwise, it will just take care of business for you.
Yeah.
Smart. Good. For those people not using Gym Master, that could be enough information to get you on board. And I'm not taking commissions, by the way.
Neither.
So what does 2025 look like for Otto Fitness?
To be to not only myself be fit and fabulous at 40, which is next
Ah,
month,
yeah.
to help my members to be fit and fabulous and to feel fit and fabulous at any age.
Mm,
And whatever your goal is, whether it's to play with your grandkids on the floor, to do well at the rugby season, whatever, or to do well at the World Champs for motocross, whatever your goal is, whatever you're trying to achieve, I'm here and I want to help you. I want to be successful with you.
Mm,
That's to
mm,
me, that success is you doing well in your goal, and more than just lifting weights, like being a
mm,
part of HMC or the holistic movement, and getting your body right before we
mm.
load it. That's a big one.
You're absolutely right. And for people listening, that may not necessarily make sense. So do you want to dig into that a little bit more? I know what you mean, but that's sort of language that Dave at HMC uses. But do you want to sort of create a little bit more around that?
Uh, Hopefully I say it right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Dave's probably listening and he's probably going to call me out on it, but it's getting your muscles in the right place before we go and do 100 kg deadlift or 100 kg squat. Like, how are your body feeling? Is how's the back feeling? How are the knees feeling? Oh, they're a little bit sore. Okay, let's find out why, and let's get some just movement happening and find out what's really going on before we go and do the big stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And there's quite a lot involved in that. Let's see what's going on stage, right? Especially with new clients,
Yeah,
because everyone brings their own patterns and habits and sort of idiosyncrasies to the gym, which after you've seen them a few times, you start to identify and go, so because of that, you need to do this, this, and this every time you start, and then happy days, you're doing the fun stuff even sooner.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, so it's a good paradigm to live by. I think it's very easy to have clients just rush in and just jump on stuff and potentially doing themselves more damage than good, even though they're working really hard. So you're right. It's a really important part of programming for people. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Top tip time. What are Erin's top tips?
Um, One I always believe is, and if you're starting out in business, this is probably the key one. If you can actually believe this when you're starting business, any business, not just in the wellness space, but primarily in the wellness space, a client will become a friend faster than a friend will become a client. So when I first heard
Right.
this, I went out, I grabbed, I'd only been married for about 4 years, now 9, but 4 years. I
Mm-hmm.
grabbed our group wedding photo because I was like, whatever, that's not true. That's not true. Like, let me see. I pulled out our group wedding photo, and
Mm.
out of 100 people, one person, now two, because our best man has moved back, now two, but one person was a gym member at the time.
Crikey.
And then I was like, but what about so and so? And what about? I was like, no, they were a gym
Mm.
member first, and now they're like one of my very closest friends. I was like, no, but what about? No, again, started as a gym member. Like, yes, I might have known them outside the gym, like through the bank, but the gym really does bring people closer, and you do
Mm.
become very, very close friends with a lot of your clients.
Mm.
And so, if you have the right mindset, like you're going to start business, and all my friends are going to be my clients. No, mate, they're not. They're not going to be.
Interesting.
Um, you got to put yourself out there and be prepared to make a hell of a lot of new great friends
Mm.
who
Mm.
all started as clients first.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that, and that it's interesting because when I ask for top tips, there's a lot of commonality, and you'd kind of expect that to be the case. But I've never heard this one. I've never come across this one before. And as you explain it, I'm like, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and,
And
and
I think,
and and as you say, it's a good lesson. You've got to get out there and you've got to put yourself into, your uncomfortable zone and meet people, talk to people. And it's not a recruitment process, but it's more of a just being in the right place at the right time and having the right conversations.
yeah,
Yeah.
and being open,
Mm.
approachable, open. Yeah,
Yeah, and if you ask enough questions, at some point someone's going to ask you some, right? And then you can say, "Oh, well, this is what I do, and this is how I do it," and would love you to come and have a look. You can be a nice soft sell, can't you? You don't have to lock people into a membership on the football field.
yeah.
Um, What any others on that list, Erin? Because that is a goodie.
This too shall pass.
Ah,
I say that a lot, under my breath a lot. A lot of my members will hear me say it.
yeah,
And it goes for everything in life. With kids, I'm trying to run a business, and my kids destroy my reception. Like the school holidays, it was just, and I'm like, this too shall pass.
mm,
This too shall pass.
mm,
Times are tough in business. This
mm,
too shall pass.
mm.
But other times, when things are good, hey, this too shall pass.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
sometimes things can be really good, and you can get kind of overwhelmed when things get too busy. Take a breath. This too shall pass,
yeah, yeah.
and everything will
Mm,
pass, and it
mm,
will go
mm.
up and down, and it never stays like that for long. Sometimes longer than others, but this too shall pass.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. It's the inevitability of change, right?
Mm,
Mm, mm. But it's a nice, calm way of looking at it. This is, we're just passing through. This is our time, and the things that are around us aren't always going to be around us, and don't get too hung up on stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. Words of wisdom. I'm loving these.
They may be from Instagram, but anyway.
It doesn't really matter where they're from. I think if they resonate for you, and clearly they have, then they have more importance than other things. And it's good to hear other people's perspectives. So yeah, doesn't it could have come from a Greek philosopher, but Instagram's just as good.
Yeah.
Any others?
Your members, your clients, they're going to come and go.
Yep.
And there's no hard, like, don't take it personally. It's nothing against you.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm,
Life changes for them as well,
mm, mm.
and things happen. Sometimes in a small town, they're more likely to come back, but in the bigger towns, you might not see them again.
Yeah.
And you can beat yourself up that you've done something wrong, you said something wrong, and it's not even the case. And I think this is a more of a shout out to females because we overthink. We're really bad at overthinking. And so, yeah, people will come and go. You'll
Mm,
lose your clients will go somewhere else, and just be true to who you are and true
mm,
to how you train and your knowledge.
mm.
And sometimes they didn't even go to another trainer. They just life just got busy. They just can't get to the gym anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a great philosophy. Really good.
And I think my last one would be just keep learning.
Yeah,
Keep learning, especially in the
yeah.
wellness space. Health and fitness and wellness is just getting so there's just more and more information coming out every day when it comes to the human biology. Um, and just because you've done your level 4 PT and you're an hour PT and it's all signed off, you got to keep going. And that's when you get to branch off to what you're passionate about. But you got to keep learning and have your connections as well. Have your other mentors.
Mm.
I couldn't understand why PTs had PTs until now.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need a coach. You're coaching people. You need a coach as well to help you, and you
Mm,
need those
mm,
support networks as well, especially in a small town if you don't have anybody else. So yeah, have your support networks in place as well.
yeah, I like it. I like it. I've made that a separate point there. You need a coach. It's good.
Mm.
Awesome. Some great stuff there, Erin. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So, people wanting to talk to you, find out more, have a chat, how would they find you?
Pretty much any old way. Email's always good. Erin at odofitness.co.nz. Instagram, so Erin Milne Fitness, or the gym Instagram and Facebook page, Odo Health Fitness.
Yeah,
And yeah, and on Facebook as well.
Cool. I'll try and dig those out, put them in the show notes so people can just scroll down and find them.
Yeah, that would be
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of stuff on my kids on my private page anyway.
I'll try not to spend too long on there. Brilliant. That's awesome, Erin. Thank you very much. It's been great chatting, learning about your business and you, and those superb top tips. Really, really good.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for having me. It's exciting to be on a podcast for the first
Brilliant.
time. So yeah,
Yeah, great
awesome.
stuff. Cool. All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.